Hi, my name is Cheng, head groundskeeper here at ONT Field for the Ontario Tower Buzzers. Today we have Eric Blanton from DuraEdge Products and Jim Barbuto from Ewing Outdoor Supply. Today we're going to go over the tools, how we use them, why we use them, and why they become a part of our everyday routine. Let's get into it.
So what are you trying to accomplish here? What's the width of that drag?
Currently an 8-foot drag. I use an 8-foot.
18 rigid, right?
Yeah.
Why rigid?
Well, I like the fact that there's a leveling bar, and so I can use it either with the leveling bar up or down depending on what I'm trying to do. Right now I'm just trying to turn over the conditioner. I came in and flooded the infield last night, not expecting it to be so gloomy, and so right now I'm just trying to turn the conditioner over, dry it up a little bit so that I can work on it if I need to roll, which I want to do, and I want to be able to nail board it later. But that's why I currently have it like this, just to kind of flip it over a little bit.
And the rigid's going to keep it from flex. You're not going to get that flex like a 3-foot one does, so it's not going into a hole and pulling product out of a low spot. It's basically leveling at the same time, right?
Correct. And so that's what sometimes we'll use the 6-foot, or sometimes we'll use the 8-foot. Typically when I'm dragging the infield, I use the 8-foot just so you get a little better coverage and a little better overlap. But we have a smaller 4-foot one for our base paths, and then we have the 6-foot ones that we use in game, as well as this 8-foot one that I'll use pretty much on the 3-wheeler exclusively.
And what's nice about the rigid too is that you're not pulling a lot of material. You're really just moving it a little bit, replacing it, just turning it over rather than yanking a bunch of material out.
Absolutely. I mean, right now, if you see, we're not really pulling that much conditioner. It's just more turning it over. Sometimes for pre-game, when my skin's a little bit drier, I'll flip it over to where then we have the leveling bar sitting up, but it sits down flatter and it pulls maybe a little more material, but when it's dry, I'm just looking to work some of that material and mainly break up the chunks that we have from the earlier batting practice.
And what top dressing conditioner are you using?
Currently, we are using the DuraEdge Platinum. Just the calcined. We are not on vitrified yet. We might experiment with that a little bit later in the year when the weather gets a little bit hotter, but we've had June gloom right now, so just the regular calcined has been working out for us great. Like the natural color to it. Comes really dry out of the bag, which is perfect for what we're trying to achieve. So yeah, later we're gonna add a lot more bags of conditioner, especially when we flood. It tends to eat up a lot of the conditioner, so we'll come out with the bags of Platinum and we'll take a spreader out, and sometimes we'll even just dump it in a pile. That way we can shovel and broadcast it out. Sometimes when we're just looking for thinner amounts, we'll come back with the Ewing spreader and spread it kind of in just the areas that we essentially need it.
We got Michael here. He's going to go through his mound maintenance, his daily routine. So if you can just take us through what you're doing and why.
So this is actually not part of my daily routine. Usually when it comes to like building a table or kind of building out the sides is just off weeks, but the table really needed some work, and building this up means I have to build this up.
So this is just leading you into a longer period of play.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to get torn up anyway, but I just want it to at least have them stand on a flat surface rather than just sloped. And I just want it looking good. The rubber's sticking out pretty much, so I don't want them like tripping on it, or if they're making a play, backing up, or just moving around the rubber at any point. I don't want them tripping on it. So building it up, making it sort of flush with the rubber, and then the conditioner will kind of add that like top layer to where it's flush with the rubber. But yeah, I love using a hitting mat or some type of mat that covers the slope so that it stays, the moisture stays. So it just depends on your environment too. Yeah, so I just use a small tent that's a 4x6. This is a 8x8. I like the 4x6 because it helps with in front of the rubber. Also with, it just really compacts well then compared to the 8x8. But then it also helps here too as well. Yeah, I usually bring out the Vibe, a broom, field broom,
A little water
and
can
like a
so that
rake.
you can get moisture at very specific areas.
Yeah, like
so
I'll
you're
use,
not
yeah,
dumping a bunch of moisture.
Yeah, I'll use a
on
squirt
there.
bottle for sure. Yeah, anything to help me with moisture or compacting.
Yep.
Why do you have two different style of rakes?
Style, yeah.
It's
So
like what's the purpose of each of one of them?
yeah, for sure. So that one has like just, I guess you'd call them smaller tines, smaller teeth, thinner. So those really are aggressive toward the clay. So I like to. That's more just breaking up the clay so I can add new material in and tamp it in, so it binds well.
Because you always want to have grooves in the clay so that it binds together. You never want to do it on something that doesn't have, one, moisture in it, and two, doesn't have a groove to kind of bind it.
Yeah, exactly. And that applies to infield mix, to the black stick. Just making sure everything binds well together. If it doesn't, then it could affect field of play. So that's not what we want. Yeah, so this one is just to move material around, whether I'm working again with block stick or infield mix, kind of smoothing out the surface before I tamp. Cleans up well. As you can see, like I kind of just smooth it out with this rake and then tamped it in just to create that smooth surface from the back of this mound to the table, and then to the sides as well. The Ewing wheelbarrow, of course, just putting any material in it, infield mix, black clay. So we had a lot of our material stored outside. Our handy dandy wheelbarrow saved us so that we can store all that clay.
Are you going to be able to nail drag, and what's going to determine if you are or not going to be able to get on that process?
So it's all kind of weather variable and kind of just the moisture of just the feel of kind of this stepping out on it with our feet. I came in last night at about 9 o'clock to flood out the infield. Thought we would need quite a bit since we played a day game on Sunday. It didn't water Sunday or Monday, but with Dura Edge being as good of a product as it is, turns out I actually didn't need to water as much as I did. So I just wanted to turn over the conditioner. Hopefully the sun comes out so I can dry it up a little bit. That way I can roll my edges. That way I can roll the first base spot. And that way I can also nail drag a little bit later. But as of right now, it's a little bit too wet. But so all I was trying to do was just turn that conditioner over just to dry it up a little bit.
You've got everything finished. Your slope's on point. Your moisture underneath is there. Now, talk about this process. What are you using? What type of rake? And what's your end goal after this point?
Yeah, so yeah, moisture underneath. I just threw the conditioner on top. So the plan is just to kind of smooth it around, make it level. I believe it's called a loop rake. I like these rakes because they could deal with two things. They could deal with like smoothing out conditioner or scratching out material, especially when you're trying to level it. So this is a good tool to use when you're leveling or scratching out any material. But yeah, in this process, I'm just gonna start smoothing it around, making it level, nice and pretty.
What I like about those rakes is they're almost, the teeth are like at 1/8 of an inch.
Gotcha.
So it's almost dropping product in the areas they need to drop.
For sure.
Like move around.
Right, compared to the longer
tooth rake.
Exactly, yeah. So these are really good to just really smooth out the conditioner, for sure. To drop it where you want it.
Yeah.
Right, now we're at home plate, but kind of walk us through your routine here. Would this be more of a daily routine? Would this be any different?
Yeah, so it's basically the same thing. It's just a flat surface. So we use the same materials. We use block stick, and then surrounding this, I guess, boxed areas is infill mix. So plays the same way, where we want the black stick to be more of their twisting and gripping, and then the outside is just where they step, and it's less durable, where we don't need block stick out there. But yeah, same thing.
Now with the batting is different, obviously, than pitching and the digging in. Do you use a different style of moisture management controls from the mound to the plate, or are you looking for the same?
I'm usually
same outcome.
Same outcome. Yeah, like we'll water the same at night. We'll water the same. Before we were kind of flooding it and then smoothing it out with a broom to get a clean finish for the morning shift to come in. But again, getting used to our environment and knowing just the hot and cold in Mother Nature, that we're kind of toning down our watering. So all it takes is just a little bit, and then we'll roll it, and it just, yeah, it plays well, smooths out, yeah.
Now with the Mound, you have synthetic on it right now to keep moisture in, and you had the tarp. Do you have a piece of synthetic that you leave here overnight along with the tarp, or do you just tarp?
Yeah, we just tarp it. Okay. Yeah. Having that moisture in for the pitchers is more, I think, crucial than I think here. Obviously, moisture is super important anywhere. Grass, dealing with material, but I just want to make sure I keep that moisture in the mound a lot more than here. And also, it can get too wet sometimes. So then again, I'll come in the morning and I'm going to let it sit out. And the conditioner, adding the conditioner kind of pulls it up back up. So, yeah.
Now you're on to basically your finished product for the day before workouts with the watering and everything. So what are you looking for now? How much water are you going to put down in comparison to a pregame water or even a nighttime water?
I'm going a little bit heavy right now, not really to a point where I need to puddle it up just because it's not that hot out. But I mean, we'll give it some heavy color right now, and then early work for them starts at about 140. So we'll probably hit it one or two more times, just lightly. I don't want to risk just flooding it and then all of a sudden it being too wet for early work. But just a heavy color right now, and then let it sit and then come back in maybe half an hour, and see how the color of the conditioner kind of looks.
So you just talked about conditioner. After you nail drug, you added 5 bags of top dressing. When you are watering now, do you feel that you have to put more water to get that calcine to soak up more, or do you feel that there's a good base in there to keep everything just mulched down?
Well, the infield itself still has good moisture in it right now. So right now I'm putting enough water so that we're not losing anything. But also, to your point, is since the conditioner was dry going down, I got to put enough water to where it kind of soaks all of it up, and put even just a little bit more of that just so that it kind of soaks into the infield. So a little bit heavier than what I normally would. And then pre-game, depending on how much it bakes out, usually it's also another heavy color. But I mean, kind of from like this morning, like conditioner color and moisture of your skin underneath it are two different things.
How many times a day on a game day are you watering your infield?
It's about 6 or 7 times probably.
And okay, so out of that 6 times, how many are heavy, and then how many are basically the same?
Most of them, as of right now, within the time of the year with how cool it is and shorter days, it's typically just a heavy color. Now, there are days that, like before the homestand, when we haven't put any water on it since the week before, we'll come out and we'll puddle this thing up for about an hour. Eventually, once we get into the summer months, for us to hold on to that moisture, we'll probably flood out this infield right before we leave post-game, and then probably one more time right after early work for nail dragging.
Eric and I would like to thank Sean and Michael and the whole ONT Field crew for the valuable information they provided today that we hope you can take back to your fields. If you would like any information about the tools utilized in this video, please visit ewingoutdoorsupply.com or click the link below.